Okay, good evening, councillors. I was rather uplifting upstairs, I thought. Let's keep the mood a bit light for the evening, shall we? Okay, item number 1 on the agenda is apologies for absence.
I have apologies, Chairman, from Councillor Roger Dennison, Councillor Dennis Dennison, Councillor Davis.
Councillor Alex Ashworth is working till 9.
Okay, sorry.
Councillor Tracy Brown is at art exhibition tonight.
Thank you. Okay, go on. Okay, item number 2 is declarations of interest, and that's received declarations by members of interest in respect of items on this agenda. Members are reminded that in accordance with Law Act 2011, they're required to declare any disposable pecuniary interest which has not already been declared in the Council Register of Interest. It's a criminal offence not to disclose declare a disclosable pecuniary interest either in the register or at the meeting. Whilst not a legal requirement, in accordance with Council Procedure Rule 10 and in the interest of clarity and transparency, members should declare any disclosable pecuniary interest which they have already declared in the register at this point in the meeting. In accordance with Para B, Section 2 of the Code of Conduct, members are required to declare the existence and nature of any other interests as defined in Para A1 or 92 of the Code of Conduct. Are there, therefore, any declarations of interest? Jim?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Item number 5A and 5B, the planning and finance. City Council planning.
Item number 6, the defibrillator. Item 8, regarding festival, it's a
festivals, I've got pecuniary interest, so I'm going to leave the rest.
Okay, thank you.
Same in June, I'm right.
Oh, yeah, right, okay, nice one. Thank you very much. Any further declarations? No, okay, item 3 is to approve the minutes of the meetings of council held on the 19th of July. They're on pages 2 to 7 of the supporting papers. Are there any amendments required, or would you like to move them as a true record? Do you have a second bit? Okay. Can we all vote on to accept those minutes therefore and then sign them? Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you very much. Right. Item number 4 is the public participation element of the meeting, where members of the public can address council regarding items on the agenda for up to 3 minutes. Mr. Williams, are you intending to speak this evening?
Please.
Sorry?
I would like to speak tonight, yeah.
And which item are you speaking on?
3 items we're speaking on tonight.
Yeah, on the agenda, which items on the agenda?
On the agenda, basically, one is the supporting documents you provided the ministry regarding the assistant clerk, and it also involves the finance and management meeting. One of them is the toilet supporting papers with the minutes, and the other item is nomination rules, which you've done tonight.
What, from the previous minutes you're on about?
Correct.
Right, okay. If you'd like to come to the front, usual spot, and I'll do the 3-minute thing as we always do.
Have we got a microphone? Go ahead,
Just get on.
thank you.
Right. As is the usual convention at this point, councillors will hear your remarks in silence. You'll have 3 minutes and no more, and with 1 minute that remains, I will give you a 1-minute warning. Okay?
Okay.
And I'll start the time when you start speaking.
Good evening, councillors. I'd like to ask, my first question is, Finance and Management Committee, I just wondered why the chair, the previous chair of the committee, Brendan Hughes, is no longer chair of the committee. I'd like to know where the money that you saved through not appointing an assistant clerk, which has not been in place for 6 months, where are you going to spend that money that you saved? Regarding the toilets, the supporting papers make this statement. The clerk remained concerned that the ever-increasing costs of maintaining the toilets in a location which were vulnerable to vandalism, etc., due to their isolated position and on a promenade, a lack of CCTV. My question is this, is when the project was proposed, was a design and risk assessment carried out? And if it was, why did the town clerk and the responsible finance officer and the councils involved in making recommendations to the council not inform the council of this risk? And if it did not, why not? When before the project was proposed, there was clear evidence of vandalism to that building. Nomination of awards. I'm interested to know how the awards are nominated and who actually decides whether or not it's the public or the council. But I'd like to make my 3 nominations myself to these individuals' organisations. I'd like to make it to a whistleblower and a true public servant, Barbara Barber, who was another of this council's toxic victims, in my opinion, in her letter of resignation, unsuccessfully censored by the chair, who informed us
You've got 1 minute left, Mr. Williams.
that some elected representatives were putting their own interests first at the expense of the public. I'd like to nominate Tyson Fury. How many times of a former world heavyweight champion? And I'd also like to finally nominate the volunteers of the Winter Gardens, who have absolutely been maintaining and improving that building for a long, long time. And I think they deserve some recognition for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. Right, next item on the agenda is the Planning Development and Environment Committee. I think it's next week's report. Sorry, I should have been. I do apologise. You're going to speak to the planning report, so I'd like to have declared interests for planning. If you could vacate the room, that would be fantastic. We'll just give you a couple of minutes to get out, a couple of seconds.
Yeah, just asking council to note the report from the 6th of August, where we did look at 1 or 2 planning applications. We know a particular one was the planning application pertaining to the Eric Bartholomew 10 to 18 Euston Road, and we were looking at how it would impact on the area and all that. So we recommend to inform the Lancaster Council that in respect of application number 180061 CU regarding the proposed change of use of public pavement to seating area to the front elevation of JD Witherspoon, the Eric Bartholomew, 10 to 18 Euston Road, Morecambe, that the Town Council objects to this application, and we'd just like to point out why, and these are the reasons. The change of use from public pavement to a seating area at this location was not appropriate, we felt, and that the applicant should be content with the street cap licence for this area. The proposed change of use could increase antisocial behaviour given the bylaw in place to prevent drinking of alcohol in public places. And the other reason, that the Town Council supports the objection raised by the County Council Highways. And we made no comments or objection in respect of any of the other applicants set out that month. So, that's the reason why we objected to that. We're not only get to business development, but on that occasion, we thought that application was not appropriate. We also had the consultation regarding the draft heritage strategy, but that was deferred, which I'll report on in the next, in the next minutes. We felt that we needed more time to read it and look at it and analyse it and that. Morecambe in Bloom. Morecambe in Bloom was a success. We got a report on that. We just noted the report, but the judging took place on the 25th of July, and we're yet to get final results of that, but I think it's just worth giving a vote of thanks to everyone who took part, all the people involved in Morecambe in Bloom that day who helped out, particularly David, who did a lot of work on his own, but also all the volunteers and all that. It was it's been a successful year this year, and it was a nice day. The judges gave us some interesting feedback and all that, so we're just wait to see their feedback later on. Moving forward to more up to date to this month, 3rd of September, we had a recent meeting, and one of the applicants we looked at was to do with Lancashire and Morecambe College, which is quite away from Morecambe. It's still in our Morecambe catchment area, and we're asking the City Council that in respect to this application, regarding another retrospective application, of course, and it's for the retention of 6 spotlights at the rear entrance of Lancashire and Morecambe College, and that the Town Council was concerned that the proposal was not necessarily needed in well-lit areas and would have a detrimental impact on nearby residents, and request that the application be rejected in regard to that. We ask that the application considered for approval, conditions be implemented and monitored to ensure that the latest time that the lights will be switched off will be 10 o'clock. We don't want them on any later, Monday to Friday, and not switched on at all at weekends. I mean, another retrospective planning application, we need to, I think we need to be, making a, really, firmly that we're against this and telling the City Council that. And we've noted that anyway in one of our recommendations. We made no further comments on any of the other recommendations. Then we looked at the Town Council, we looked at the strategy in regard to heritage, and we made 1 or 2 observations on this. One of the main observations is that the document, which I thought was very Lancaster-centric, and we felt that the document should include more detail about Morecambe's cultural heritage and celebrate Morecambe's heritage in greater detail. There was a bit in it, but nowhere near enough. And we also, again, an ongoing concern of ours, that the Town Council asks that the City Council look at proofreading documents and look at the grammar. 1 or 2 members of the committee did point out 1 or 2 grammatical mistakes, and when once pointed out, they do jump out at you really. And going back to Morecambe in Bloom, we have our presentation evening on the 9th of October. On the 4th of October, 5th of October, and it's at Morecambe Football Club. So I hope as many of you come to that as possible. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. I moved those before.
It's the thing. Do you have a seconder for your recommendations, David? Yeah. John, thank you very much. Are there any questions about the report as moved, or would anybody like to make any comment? John?
No question, just one comment. I really do hate to be picky, but given the nature of the comment, I think we should get it right. On page 13, where we say we request the draft heritage strategy to be proofread before it's printed. The first line of that bullet point, the word complement is used, and it should really be the word complement.
Yes.
Both should be complemented. Given what we're saying in the sentence, we really ought to.
Yes, indeed.
I was going to pick out all grammar is correct. As in the current point of grammar, as in when the report is finished, the grammar is correct. Sorry, I'm an English teacher, what do you want?
That's right.
Around Cal.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get me started. Terry, question, comment?
Especially comment Witherspoons.
Yes.
If anybody uses Euston Road as much as I do, I fully support the turning down of it. There's little enough room as it is. There's the trees down the middle. If you get the tables and chairs outside and somebody in an invalid carriage coming up the other way, there's going to be a fight because the tables will go. The 2 tables they've got are quite adequate for what they need.
It's just an observation. The draft heritage strategy, when it was looked at in City, I had previously made a comment about it being very Lancaster-centric as well, and I think that would be music personal. It doesn't say anything about, like you said, about Morecambe's cultural heritage, and it doesn't say anything about Morecambe's theatrical heritage. There were lots of points, but I have raised them.
Thank you. Therefore, can we go to a vote on accepting those recommendations from those 2 reports? All in favour? Indeed. Thank you. Clearly carried. Thank you very much. Okay. Our next report is item. Yes, please.
Chair, can I just ask you a question? Do you want me to leave the room about the defibrillator, or can I be present?
If it's a non-pecuniary interest, then there's no reason why you can't be present while it's happening. I understand that's the rule, isn't it? Yeah. But you won't have to accuse yourself. It's up to you whether you. It's best to go if you really, really want to keep well clear
Not
of
to
it.
say a few words on it, but...
I wouldn't speak on it. Even if you declared a non-pecuniary interest, you probably shouldn't speak.
Right.
If you really want to keep well clear of it, then you're best to leave the room. But it is a
Well, I
non-pecuniary
might
interest.
leave the
you've
room,
declared.
but
Okay.
I'll
Right. We're back to a full complement. Okay. With an eye. Here we go.
Go to the lead.
Community Safety Committee.
It's for the lead, not for the driver.
We're back to NAC again.
It's in before I accept that to something or other. Right. Item 6, Community Safety Committee from the 8th of August, and you'll find those on page 15 to 18 of your supporting packs. And I'll call on John Hanson to present the report. He's the chair of the committee, if he ever wants to join in.
Yeah, I'm just finishing this off. Right. I was just in conference then.
Have you decided what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Before John starts talking.
Come get out.
There you go.
Shut the door.
It's all right.
I've not got a lot to say really. Oh, good. Just for that. Sounds it. We had a debate the other week. I was disappointed, not to say the least. Jeff Tagg's doing a great job. He's told us everything that's going on about different families, this, that, that. He can only tell us so much because he's private. He's doing a good job. Phil, I don't know what to call him. You call him a dump. What do you call him? Yeah, he's doing a good job. I've got no complaints, and it does look cleaner from where I've been, so I think he needs a pat on the back. The disappointment, I didn't get a chance to say what I wanted to say to the police. I still weren't there. Again, that's the second meeting. And to be honest, people, they're a waste of time. They don't turn up. You can't ask them. People ask me questions to ask the police, and all I do is ask exactly what they say. The only thing I do is clean it up a bit. But they didn't send a Bobby, a local Bobby, and there's no point in inviting them to our meeting. They're just not interested. So the questions we want to ask, I can't get answers because there's no Jeff Tag can't. So that's why I'm disappointed in them. not, they could just send somebody up, just to ask questions that a policeman should know. Now getting onto the parking bit, like I say, they say it's not to do with the parking, say it's the traffic wardens. Westgate's still a problem, White London, etc. Nothing's being done about it, but there again, I don't know what we're getting to, we don't know what we're getting in touch with now. They keep passing it back. The other one that I've been asked, and it's in visitor this week, bikes, I'm going to say motorbikes then, biking on the pavements. Now the police, the last meeting they were there, James Martin, he said it's not illegal to ride a bicycle on a pavement. Well, it is illegal. He said it isn't, but it is. And if you look at Visit Street, there's one that wants to complain about it. You don't ride a bicycle on the promenade, especially with no lights. And, you know, I feel strongly about that, and I'm sure a lot of other people who can't get anywhere because police don't turn up. Apart from that, we're all right. Now then, with this defibrillator, what we're asking for, Margaret's asking, to, if we can get this, well, if we'll sponsor this defibrillator, and the doctors at the West End have agreed to put it on their wall, and we're asking if the town council will support that. And I think it's about £500, I think. Am I right, David?
Just under £500.
Just under £500. I think it's worth it. For fact, could save somebody's life. At the weekend, it'll be accommodated. She said that's the only awkward little bit, Saturday and Sundays. But if you need to know, Margaret knows more about it than I do. That's why I wanted her to say something. So, I'm hoping that we pass all them, if you'll support that, especially the public defibrillator. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you for that. So, have you got a second for your recommendations? Right. Thank you very much. And questions, comments? Michelle?
Yeah, just on the defibrillator, I'm quite happy with the suggestion, but it's asking for a budget heading. Would it be advisable to take that back to finance, or did you want to find a budget? Because no budget heading was mentioned today. So if we make a decision on it, we either need a budget heading now or take it back to finance.
It has to be one or the other. While we're here. Because it'd have to come back here anyway, if it does go to finance.
Yeah. Could I suggest then, I know it's coming up later on finance, but can I suggest that it comes from the deprivation fund? The money that hasn't been used yet.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
There you go, and a second to boot.
Yeah, thank you.
Marvellous. Thank you very much for that. That sounds like a good solution. Rather appropriately, I was on my way to lunch earlier on today, and I bumped into former County Councillor Tony Jones, who many of you will be familiar with, who collapsed during a County Council meeting about 18 months ago now, and was saved because of two things. Firstly, an NHS trained nurse who happened to be the councillor on the opposite side of the aisle, so no politics coming into that one, and the fact that literally 30 yards away from where the incident happened they had a defibrillator, and he's walking and talking right now as a result of those two things, the skill and the accessibility of the defibrillator. So I think it's fantastic that we're getting behind that.
No, that's what I was going to ask about the defibrillator. Presumably the idea is it's fixed on the wall of the West End surgery so that there's somebody there who can actually use it.
Anyone can use it. Well,
isn't there something
ideally you just some
It
training.
gives you instructions how to use it.
It does, yeah.
When you talk to
Right,
you.
so there's not a problem of ongoing finance in terms of having to train and recruit.
the moment you open the box, it tells you where to put the pants, and then it speaks to you and tells you exactly what to do and when to do
It
it.
seems to you.
Literally, I've seen people who literally got no first aid training whatsoever keep people's lives as a result of using it.
And to reassure anybody who might think about it, who might not know, if your heart is actually beating, it will not give you an electric shock.
You can't feel anything.
You can't feel it.
Yeah.
But idiot-proofing.
It is in fact TD approved, yeah. It's what we used to call it in the forces squaddy proof. You couldn't get it wrong in any intro. Right, David's just going to make a comment about it, just so we're all clear, and then I'm going to bring in a couple of colleagues.
Just so everybody's clear, the actual defibrillator will be purchased by North West Ambulance Service through something they've got, so you're just buying the casing. There is an ongoing annual cost, which the ambulance service tell me is £2 a year, which will come to us. That's the electricity supply into the defibrillator. I get an email from them that it's £2 a year, so we'll have to find another £2 a year in the budget somewhere. Just so you all know that, just take it out.
I think it might have gone controversial now.
£2 too much.
Tricia, come on, Chair of Finance.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, Bren will know that the bidder are also thinking of doing one, but I believe that we're getting the bid put on the casing. Will Morecambe Town Council be put on this casing?
I'm reliably informed to my left that is definitely something we can do.
Yeah, because I think it would help people see that we're actually spending some money in the right places.
Two, Tristan.
Jim?
Sorry?
Yeah, just a quick one about the maintenance or upkeep of it. Is, once we bought it, are we responsible for making sure it's working? And if so, is that going to be another?
The North West Ambulance Service will, maintain it. They just asked us to pay a small amount of electricity. They will maintain it.
Yeah, of course, the bit that gets used, they'll have to change the pads and stuff, so there's ongoing maintenance when you use it as well. But they're amazing bits of kit these days. Any other comments before we... Oh, Terry?
Yeah, where am I? Right, the seagull proof bags.
Yes.
They're brilliant. Clark Street, Townley Street, and back Morecambe Street, since they've been given them, has never looked as tidy. It's quite amusing watching the seagulls banging their heads against them and getting nowhere. Why can't the whole town have them?
Yeah. Talk to your city council, or you want the city council?
Yes. I'm sure that we can get a response on that one to see whether they're going to be rolled out. I'm sure we'll get a response in the fullness of time. We'll write to them.
Having a member for Clean and Green.
Yeah, we'll send an official email letter and ask them whether they're planning to be rolled out, because they are so wonderfully successful. It's been demonstrated in the papers as well, isn't it? Marvellous. Right, well, if there's nothing further, then should we vote on that and with the suggestions from Tricia? Right, all those in favour of all of those recommendations? Wonderful. Clearly carried. Thank you very much.
Should I get the old last in?
You can indeed. Not so truly, you just go over that. It's on video, you can watch it back in a couple of days. Okay, right, the next item is item 7, which is Finance and Management Committee minutes. Tricia, you can speak to those. They're on pages 19 to 32 of support packs.
Page 21.
Yep.
There's 2 sets of recommendations on there. I'd like to move those.
Thank you very much. Do we have a seconder for those recommendations? Thank you. Would anyone like to speak to those recommendations at all? No, that's not kind of it. Right, or would you want us to vote on all of them as a job lot at the end?
No, those 2 first, please.
Okay, yeah, right, so all those in favour? Thank you very much, done.
Okay, 17, the insurance renewal. I believe there's now, the company C, the quotation has now arrived, which is considerably higher by £100 than company D. So that means that the recommendation is to take company D.
Indeed.
Move
Yeah.
that, Chair.
Moved and seconded by James, yeah. No one wants to speak to those recommendations at all? And therefore we'll vote on them. And all those in favour of that recommendation? Marvellous, thank you very much. Clearly carried.
On the last one, so I wanted them taken separately. On point 2, It says to agree to re-advertise the remaining funds and invite applications within the deprivation grant budget. I would like to propose that we hold back on that for the time being. One, that we've just taken some of it out for the defibrillator. And secondly, we haven't got notification, I don't believe, in full yet of how much the elections are going to cost next year. And we will be looking for funding for that. So rather than putting it out, it's not spent, so rather than putting it out for tenders to come in again, I would suggest that we hold back on that until we find out how much money we need for next year's elections. And the other two stand, as I said.
Do you have a second then? Sorry.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there, but I do think there's budget reserves in at least two other accounts that we can use for the defibrillators, rather than use it out of the intervention fund, which is the first fund we've done this year.
We've already voted on that.
When?
About 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
No.
That was part of the recommendation from the last report was to move.
Sorry,
If you move the first two,
No, what I was moving was to hold back on spending this until we find out.
What
But
the
the
elections
defibrillators
well, I'm
are in
saying we
passed.
shouldn't be holding back on it.
The defibrillator costs have already been hypothecated across.
Yeah.
So the question is whether councillors want to hold back spending or re-advertising this money or not. I think that's the recommendation, is it not? Based on the fact that I think we should be waiting for the
We might have some of those costs,
yeah. Claire?
I have an issue with the fact that an election will be coming out of the deprivation fund. We set the deprivation fund up for a reason. If there are election costs to be absorbed, then they have to be absorbed across multiple budgets, not out of a single deprivation fund.
Which I think is obviously why you moved them separately, because you want to get, you want us to deal with them individually. Tammy, you want to speak?
Yeah, mine's on the mobile CCTV. On page 20. I know we voted on it, but I've got a suggestion that I would like to put to council. Due to the rising costs for repairs on the loos, maybe one of the mobile cameras could go on there. Because we've put 3,000 in this current year's budget towards the purchase of mobile cameras. Could we put one on the loos? It might cut, or at least we know who's damaging it, and we might get some court costs back.
Well, other than the fact that we're not going to spend the rest of the evening going back on the items we've already voted on, that's a matter of operational management where we put the cameras or not. So that we don't have to pass a resolution at council to get that done. If that's what you'd like to see happen, and that sounds perfectly reasonable, by the way, then that's something that the clerk can action.
Well, could I ask David to look into the possibility?
Yeah.
The mobile.
It is so noted.
If it's mobile, we can put it there for 6 months and see what happens.
So to clarify on the resolutions that are presently before us, resolution number 1, to refuse the application on the basis the applicant did not meet the requirements. We're all right with that? That stands. You want to remove number 2 because of the potential. Temporary. Right. And number 3?
Sound.
Right, okay. So it's a thing that it's a thing for these lights in there, I'm always, it's nothing. We're voting on them separately anyway. So you've got a seconder for recommendation 1. Should we vote on number 1 and then get that out of the way so we know what we're up to? So recommendation number 1, all those in favour of that recommendation, please shout. Right, that's easy. Done. And recommendation 3 seems to be fairly clear, and you have a seconder for that too, surely. Right. Would anyone like to speak about that at all, or can we vote on that recommendation? We can vote on that recommendation, in which case, all those in favour, please shout. Thank you very much, that's clearly carried. Right, so, the only contentious one is number 2, which is at the bottom of page 22. a colleague has expressed that that shouldn't be the fund that we hold back to cover the costs of future elections. And I have two more speakers that I'm going to keep to this part of the resolution. So John and then Jim, in that order, please.
I don't really want to speak about it. It's a question, really. I'd like information. I understand why Councillor Heath wants to hold back on the money, but would the new charges for elections that are coming in, would they not come out of next year's budget anyway?
Yeah.
Rather than this year's?
I would imagine that's exactly the case.
So I just mentioned that for people's consideration.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting a big nod from Mark. Jim?
That was exactly the point
Was
I
it
was
said?
going to
Yeah. There you go, great minds think alike. So, this is your report. You wouldn't like to move recommendation 2. So somebody's going to, I think technically somebody has to move an amendment to the report that reinstates number 2. Basically, that's how it's supposed to work there.
I will move that one.
Right, so you're going to move an amendment to the report, which is reinstatement of option 2.
Janice.
And Janice seems to be seconded. Right, would anyone like to speak any further on this? Jim?
Just the point that we've already taken some money out of that, isn't
Oh.
it?
Yeah, we've already voted on that, so that's clear that we've already committed those monies to the brackets for the DFIB. That's all. Right, so this won't affect the DFIB. This is minus the DFIB recommendation, which council unanimously voted on. So this is about reinstating number 2, which is basically re-advertisement. And right, so would anyone like to speak further on? Jim? Of course, yeah.
Can I, through you, Chair, ask the clerk if where else that money could come from for the elections? What are the funds are they that's available?
Well, through the Chair to Councillor Ashburn, at the moment we have fully put aside one every year for elections if there's by-elections. The City Council, I've asked them, they've got this letter, I asked them for an estimate of what they thought our costs would be. I know you can't tell us exactly, but they're going to charge us for printing of all the ballot papers, etc. So they should be able to look at the cost from 3.5 years ago and give us assuming everything's contested, what that would be. They haven't done that yet, so I'm not sure how much will cost, but I think you're looking at least £5,000, probably nearer 10, I suspect. That's just what's in my mind. So, in our policy on reserves, we have a policy that says we must have an amount of money towards elections once a year. Now, you could use part of that depending on what the cost is. However, your reserve policy says if you use something out of reserve, you've got to reinstate that. So, I think what we should be doing is difficult to do this until we know how much we're looking at, because there's no more budgets at the moment set aside for elections in the reserve fund. So I think got that letter, put it on the agenda. Probably not a lot you can do about the election issue until it tells us the cost, and then we start looking at that in November when we start looking at next year's budget. So there is no budget for elections in our books at the moment, other than the reserves.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you very much.
I think it's, from the conversation we had earlier on, unlike by-elections, we don't get billed for staffing costs and we don't get billed for the polling stations. This is printing, including nomination pads for next year. So that's the situation we're in at the moment. Would anyone like to speak further or ask any further questions about this amendment, which is effectively a recommendation to be put back? John?
Yes, I would like to speak further. I mean, I'd be very loath to see the deprivation fund effective this year, given it's the first year we've done it. However, I think it would be prudent to wait until we know what the costs are likely to be before we make a hard and fast decision. This is going to come out of next year's budget, as I've already said, or ascertained. And it is going to be a one-off expenditure over 4 years. So, over the period of the remaining 4 years, we will be able to budget to accumulate that money for the following election. but we don't have a lot of time for doing that now. So I do think it would be wise to wait. I'm sure we'll get a reply within a month, and to revisit this issue, across the Finance Committee, to revisit this issue following receipt of the information at its next meeting.
We must be able to make an estimate on how much it is, because we'll have our records from 3.5 years ago, will we not?
No, we didn't pay for it before, you see.
We've not charged.
This is the branding charge.
Well, I'm looking at page 31. We've got 9,000 in general reserves, 9,000 asset replacement, 6,000 by-election fund, 7,000 growth reserve fund, 55,000 community centre and town council office fund. Let's keep the deprivation fund, and worst comes to worst, take it out the community centre and town council office fund, where we've got £55,000 sat there. Come on guys, seriously.
That was my point in time.
Right, okay, right, it's been moved for you, right, thank you very much. Right, can we move to a vote then, in that case, and this is like the reinstate, it's an amendment, but it's a reinstatement of part 2, as long as we all get what we're voting on. So, those in favour of the amendment to the report, please show. And those against, please show.
4.
And on my estimation, therefore, no abstentions. Okay, so that's carried to become a part of the report again. And do we have any further recommendations, Peter? Any more? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's it. Right, thank you very much indeed.
Before you move on, can I ask a question of the clerk, please?
Yeah, it's about this.
Well, it's about recommendation 3 on page 23.
Well, you've already got it, I think. Well,
I know, but can a body apply for the deprivation grant and other grants, or is it one grant per organisation, shall we say?
yeah, please.
As answer Councillor Metcalfe's question, there's no formal council policy that says you can't apply to more than one fund. I think the key point is the council needs to assess, does that application meet the criteria for that particular fund it's applying to? If it does, well, it can consider it. And then if it meets the criteria for another fund, it can consider that. I think where we would need to be really careful is somebody apply particularly to this fund and the community grant fund, it will be possible to do something that is very similar, and that would concern me on your behalf.
Does that clarify that for you? Right, fantastic, brilliant. Okay, right, well, we're now on to item 8, which is Terry and your report, which is on page 33 of the statement. So 33 to 35.
Right. It's all pretty self-explanatory. We had a meeting of the committee and went through 13 applications. We agreed what we would do was we would put the applications we agreed to forward to a 2-day presentation. So many Monday, so many Tuesday. As you can see, the Fringe, Comedy Fringe, we turned down for the simple reason, A, it was far too late for the application, and when we looked at it, there was nothing in the budget, there were just blank pages. And we turned down the street party, because after reading the application, which to be fair to them was well produced, well written, but it's a commercial venture, which does not fit into our criteria. The ones we passed to go to committee on the 1st and 2nd of October are Bearfest and Christmas on the Crescent, Catch the Wind, Make My Day, 40s Revival, Morecambe Carnival, Morecambe Pride, vintage buses, nice and sleazy, promenade concert, vintage by the sea, and the 2 West End festivals, Lantern and the West End Festival. So what we're asking for is agreement that these go to our committees on the 1st and 2nd of October, and then we'll bring you the conclusions of that.
Okay, I'll second it.
And you're going to second that, are you, Claire? Wonderful. Would anyone like to speak to the recommendation and ask any questions?
Yeah.
Yes, John? Yeah.
No, just on this thing, I mean, like, it can be £4 to catch the winds, then them kite things.
We're not,
We haven't agreed.
we haven't
No,
agreed.
but that's
That's
just
what
want
they've
to know
asked
what it is.
for.
Yeah.
That's what they've asked for. There's no guarantee they're going to get 4,000 because we haven't even seen them yet.
Yeah. But what I want to know is whether it's £4 or whether it's 500. What do they do with the money? It doesn't cost anything for the wind. That's what I can't. I can't get it into my head.
The entertainment report.
I'm going to change.
Well, you can fly your kite for nothing. Some of the giant kites are flown by professionals who obviously won't pay for it.
Stuff like that.
Anyway, you're asking for permission to go forward to the next
To the next
process.
stage, yeah.
To the next stage.
And are you going to move all the recommendations together, 1, 2, 3 and 4? Because that
Yeah,
fits together on there.
one block.
Wonderful. And you've got a second there. Any other? Oh, Trish, further intervention.
Can I just ask, criteria you put against, and I agree with you about the street party, I do agree with you on that, I'm not saying anything against it, but could you tell me the criteria you put against that to say it's commercial, when on some of these, they are commercial events? So what criteria do you put that says one's commercial and another one isn't?
Well, I think it's something to do with the fact, well, the last one they had, which wasn't on Victoria Street. even
No,
though-
I'm saying I've no problems with that.
It's
one, I'm not
basically
questioning
because
it.
you charge for everything.
It wasn't a free festival.
It wasn't a free festival.
It was literally like billed as a free festival, and then you have to pay to go to everything.
But some of these others have paid tickets for.
Not for everything.
Not for the day events, you know.
Right.
We don't go for the night events.
Yeah, I'm
No, it's a question well made.
yeah, because I just want to know what your criteria is for each route. I'm saying I don't disagree with you, but nobody pays to go to the party.
No,
The
the
street
things
party,
they have
nobody pays
on
for
the
that.
street party.
You've got concessions on there, the stalls are paid for, you've got concessions, you've got concessions in the other festivals that are where that stalls that are paid for. So how are you telling them that theirs differs from the other festivals?
Because the other festivals are run by, shall we say, non-professional festival organisers.
You've got, I'm sorry to be pedantic about this, but I think you're in a very dodgy area, and I'm not saying you, I mean, I don't agree with the street parties, so I'm not fighting their case, but I think your criteria begs a lot of questions, because a lot of these festivals, not all of them, but a lot of these festivals, you've got people who are making money, the organisers are making money from them. And you've got your stalls where concessions are coming in and paying for them. And I don't understand where you're drawing the line between
Well,
the two.
another reason, Trish, to be quite honest, the last one, they got a fair amount of money off us last time, and it lasted 2.5 hours, 3 maximum, you know.
As I say,
It's
I'm
beautiful
not
money.
disagreeing with that part.
And everything you did, you had to pay for.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just asking about you how if an outsider came in and said, right, what's your criteria for this? And what's your criteria for that? Where do they differ? How would you explain that?
By showing them the applications and showing them just what we were asking for and what they actually did.
I think
And the consultancy fees are...
I think what Trish is saying is that it's not that you aren't potentially going to ratify a decision to support the festival, which may be made on qualitative grounds, but the fact that you've excluded them to go forward to the next stage based on something that other people don't meet either.
We did write more extensive notes in the meeting, which I haven't got here.
No, I know.
There were a variety of reasons why they didn't go through.
Yeah.
It's the same. I mean, Jim was there. It's the same. They weren't simplistic, you know.
Yeah, they're written down clearly by, the guidelines there. We haven't got them to handle.
Well, I'm hoping John can take us to a good place here because he's the next speaker and I've got a couple of
We
speakers.
have to cut them down somehow, but we can't be managed 15 people.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
That's not the basis of the disagreement at all. John, please.
I like an optimist, Chairman, I really do. I'm not sure I can throw much light on it, but I do understand Trish's point, of course. I understand what the good people are right to say. Perhaps it might be easier if we, instead of using the word professional to start with, we use the word commercial.
Yes.
Because that commerce is relatively easy to define. And if we did use the word commerce somewhere in our criteria, that might help us produce clearer definitions that everybody would be happy with. That's the only suggestion I have to make, really. But I do agree, it's something needs to be sorted.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to put that into the criteria, more than happy. And I'm sure the rest of the committee would.
Whether it's primarily a commercial concern or
I appreciate that as an option, but you can't do it retrospectively.
No, we can't do it retrospectively, but there were other reasons, like I said at the time.
Sorry to come back, but as a chair, as you could put it forward from the council as a recommendation to go forward for future reference.
Yeah. For sure, and I think that, we're getting nods from there. I've got Jane and then David.
Right, thank you, Chair. These festivals that we put forward, because they met the criteria on the forms, sometimes the forms are not, they're a bit ambitious from some of them. But that's not to say that, I'm sure the Chair will agree, that they will all get what they're asking for, or what, or perhaps they won't get anything at all. It depends on the interview and the questions that are raised at the time.
Yeah, I would love to know how we're going to pay out £104,400 out of a budget of 53.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we could do that, I can really well doing that and doing it that way.
If you do that, putting in charge of my bank account.
It's just a bit the ones that we wanted to have a look at and ask questions. Just need to say that.
I mean, I sat in on that meeting and give the committee the due. Every member worked hard that day to come to a conclusion, and it's not an easy task. It's not an easy task when we get so many good festival providers putting forward applications. There are issues with all the application forms. They don't, there's discrepancies, there's questions that need to be asked, and the ones that have gone forward, yes, they've all got good merit and all that. I was disappointed that the Fringe Festival didn't go forward. I did actually go and watch some of those shows, but there are issues with the application form, and I think for future reference for applicants, I think there just needs to be just a bit more guidance for them how to complete a form. If they are going to send it late, it is not going to be heard, and that was unfortunate for the Fringe Festival. But I wish you all the best, the Festivals Committee, when you make your judgments. It's a hard task, but it just shows, the quality of festivals in the area. We've got so many good applicants, and it shows that people are prepared to, put shows on in Morecambe, festivals on in Morecambe, and that's a good sign, really, that there's a bit of competition going on.
but it does say on the application forms the time they have to be in by, and not, you know, or it says midday, I'll bring them in at 10 past. It's noon is the deadline.
I would suggest that if you can't meet a deadline and you can't fill a form, you probably can't organise a festival.
Yeah.
That would be my submission.
That was
Chair of the committee.
that was the kind of thing that was
Right.
said.
Shall we move to a vote on all your recommendations, therefore?
Are we putting forward to our proposal if the word commercial goes in future?
Yeah.
And that is,
Yeah.
I think
Right,
we will not.
work in
Yeah, so
progress.
that's really friendly then. I was counting it as that. Yeah. It's entirely. Okay. Happy? In which case, shall we move to a vote? All those in favour of accepting the recommendations that are presently on page 35 plus that amendment, of course. Thank you very much indeed. Brilliant. Alrighty. We're on to item 9, and this is the report from the clerk, which is on page 38, which is about the post of the assistant clerk. So I'll hand over to David to run through this one for you.
Thank you, Chairman. So this report's about the recruitment of an assistant clerk. At the June meeting of Council, Personnel Committee was delegated authority, which is in the minutes, to undertake the recruitment of an apprentice. It was also delegated to the Chair and Vice Chair of the Personnel Committee, myself, to interview the candidates who were shortlisted by Personnel. So 28 people applied, from as far away as Barrow to Wimbledon. It was advertised on the national apprenticeship website, the government one, as well as locally. 28 people applied, 7 people were shortlisted. Only 3 people attended for interview. 3 of the 4 who didn't come, they gave the reason they'd subsequently been given another apprenticeship somewhere else. On the day when Councillor Roger Dennison, Chinese Hanson and myself interviewed the 3 candidates, it was unanimous that we thought, unfortunately, none of the 3 was suitable for the role for a variety of reasons, that which has been communicated to those people. So that ends the delegation that was given to the Personnel Committee, hence it's got to come back here tonight to decide what to do. Councillors Hanson and Dennison and myself talked about that after the interviews were finished, what I should bring back to this meeting tonight. There's a number of options to go forward to consider. Do you re-advertise the apprenticeship again and see who applies the next time? Do you go back to the position of Abigail's post as it was, i.e. not an apprenticeship, on either its current 30 hours as it is on the staff and hours books, or review that again? Me as a clerk, my personal view is that 20 hours would be sufficient at this moment in time to keep us going. So that's another option. I think we need to debate those 2 options first. Whether you go back down the apprenticeship road or you look to recruit to fill the job, on Abigail's grading, whether it be for 30 hours or however many hours you want to do. I think you need to do that bit first before we come to the second bit.
Yeah. Is it possible to have another look at the other people inside? Who you didn't have in the first place? I mean, there was this, how many was there?
It's 28 applicants.
28, and you've only sort of narrowed down 4 on the short, say 7. Maybe there's somebody who, if you had another look, might be worth interviewing.
I think we could do that, obviously.
Yeah.
The way that I've learned how apprenticeships works is that the college, the local college, and other colleges do it as well, obviously, that they're continually having a flow of people coming through them who want an apprenticeship. And we're an organisation that makes decisions a bit differently to, if it was a shop employee, somebody who's an apprentice, who can just go and do it. So when I told the college we hadn't appointed anybody, they said, well, we've got another CV you've not seen, and we think they're really good. Well, I couldn't consider that because we've not seen it.
No.
So I think if you went down that road, there could well be somebody who was suitable to do it. It's an option to do.
Well, I'd have thought that would have been worthwhile, rather than the time we're advertising, it's more and more going along, isn't it?
I've got Janice and then I've got Claire to speak on this matter.
Yeah, I want to be a bit careful about what I say here because, there's other people in the room that perhaps shouldn't be in, I don't think it should be in the same title as far as I'm concerned, but it isn't, so. Yes, we did interview 3 people. There was originally 7, but they didn't turn up for interviews or had got other apprenticeships or whatever. So the ones that came forward just weren't suitable at all, I'm afraid. And we just thought that going down that route, it didn't seem the right route in any case, because if we went back to the college, we'd probably get the same sort of applicants. And they weren't really had their heads around what our local government does. Our town council, they hadn't been to a town council, didn't know what it meant, or anything like that. So I think that, from my own point of view, and I think that we should be looking at employing someone as an assistant clerk who's already done the job at some point. Someone that's maybe retired and just wants either 20 hours or 30 hours a week. Yes, a more mature person that actually does the administrative work and leaves the town clerk to get on with the other things that he has to do. But really he needs a lift at this moment in time to do it because he's been working, as you know, for quite a long time on his own. So if I was to propose anything, I'm not down to whether it's 20 hours or 30 hours, that's up to the council to decide. I'm okay with either way. And I think the town clerk has said that you could do 20 hours. If it was a person that had quite a lot of experience, then I should imagine the 20 hours could do the trick. But, I do think that we ought to be looking for, we ought to be looking at an interim as well, because it's going to be left, this is going to have to go back out to advert. How long is it going to take for us to get someone? They may have to give up their job or whatever it is, or give notice. And then we're looking at November, December before we're going to get anybody. So we need to get an interim, in my opinion, that could come in, because there's agencies that do provide interim assistant clerks because they're available most of the time. And that would be my suggestion, Chair, or my recommendation, if you like. Leave it there.
Thank you. I will note that as a second. Claire, did you want to speak?
Yeah, my only suggestion was going to be, it might have been the time of year, you might actually get a better quality of candidate going out in September, because you've got a lot of people who were going to go to university and haven't for one reason or another. So you might get more people actually educated to A-level standard, etc. I have heard other employers having issues recruiting through Lancaster and Morecambe College in terms of maturity as well. It might be worth looking at a college that specialises in more local government type courses, because some of them do it on outreach and they're Blackburn do, or I've worked the other side of it, doing apprenticeships. You can actually set up your own apprenticeship and have a college at distance come in to assess people. There's 2 ways of doing it. Either the college provides them, or you make an arrangement with the college for them to come in and assess, so you can do it that way around. But if Janice thinks that this is the way forward, I'd be prepared to go with it. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, just to say, Abigail wasn't experienced when she came, and yet she was absolutely first class, so it's just a point.
She was more mature.
That's very true. She was 28 when she came.
Yes.
That was the bit that
Yes.
shoved everybody to get see through.
Yeah.
She wasn't a teenager.
Sorry, there's public in the room, it's been recorded as well. I don't think we should talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah, I've got to be careful with certain people.
Sorry?
Do I do
Go on.
that vote on part 2?
I would go for an assistant rather than an apprentice.
yeah.
Because if you go for an assistant, the way I interpret it is they do have some experience of what is needed. An apprentice comes in cold. Has David got the time to train an assistant? An apprentice, sorry.
Yeah.
We need somebody that, I know this is going to sound ageist, but he's not 18, 19-ish, that has got some life experience and knows the job.
Unfortunately, there's a thing called the Employment Act that precludes us from saying that.
I know, but it could be in here.
Yes.
Right, so my reading...
More mature attitude, doesn't necessarily
Yes, it's not about age. So my reading of your recommendation is that you're talking about getting an interim in, getting somebody as a deputy for 20 hours, and or 30, depending on what you require operationally. So we'll call it 20 to 30, shall we?
Yeah.
And I presume that therefore you would need the committee to be able to expedite this to get delegated responsibility from council as well. Yeah, is that right?
Yes.
And Mike's seconded it. You've already seconded it, haven't you? Would anyone like to speak to those recommendations, or can we expedite those right now? Are we happy? Tricia?
Yeah. What would be the cost of putting a temp in? I'm not happy really going down those lines. It usually works out very costly, and often they don't know, they wouldn't know the council business, and could spend as much time trying to teach them how to do the job for a short time as
I'll hand over the clerk on that one.
Well, I'm on new territory myself about going for an interim, if that's what you told me to do. I did meet a member of staff from Hayes Recruitment Agency last week. I know that's who the City Council used for quite a lot of their interim staff. So, how it would work if you went with them, I'll come on to what they know or don't know about us, is they would effectively are personally employed by the recruitment agency, not us. So they would still be being paid effectively what my previous colleague was paid, their grade, but it would cost more because obviously the agency take their cut, and also the agency will be paying our the employees' national insurance, etc. So for instance, the lady brought 3 CVs with her based on the job description I've shown for this post, and they range from, it would cost you £13.20 an hour to £14.50 an hour based on those 3 people. Not all 3 people worked in local government, with varying ages from early 20s to early 30s. So, in the second bit of Councillor's question, you're not going to get somebody who's got experience in this sector, probably. Whoever comes, whether it's a permanent member of staff, an apprentice or an interim, in the short term, that will take a bit more of my time, because I'm going to have to show them what to do in training, whichever type of person it is, obviously. So, it's difficult either way. I just think if you went down the agency, that seems attractive, but it will cost you more money, and you probably won't get somebody who's got experience in local government. I think you'd be very lucky to get that. But I don't know.
Thank you for that. Michelle,
I've got 2 parts that I'd like to talk about. One, I'd like us to call it the assistant vacancy from now on. Have no name or previous individuals are tied to it, because that's months ago and is now just the town council vacancy or the assistant town council vacancy. That's how it should be described. And I was wondering whether we could approach City Council, because there may be some colleagues there that only work part-time. So would they like to increase their hours for a temporary period to support us and go up to full-time? So you may have somebody working 2 or 3 days a week there that have the skills already. So would they be able to support us that during that interim period until we get that vacancy filled? Because there may be individuals coming up to Christmas that want a bit of extra money in their pockets, and it might be an opportunity to contact them. Thank you.
Janice, as the member of the proposition.
Yeah, I agree with most of that. The other thing about the salary, which I think
use the other mic, Councillor.
Oh, so this mic?
Yeah,
Can we put that one on?
yeah. Sounds like you're in a box.
You know, it's talk like that.
There you go.
Sounds like a what?
It's in a box with a troll.
You see, you sound like an old box, he said.
Right, thank you.
She's in a complimentary mood tonight, isn't she?
Yeah, I can agree with most of what Councillor Hadley says. I mean, if there is someone in the City Council, I don't know if there is, but that's not the point, that's not what we're thinking about. But as far as the salary goes, I mean, we have saved that salary from the assistant town clerk that we have, which is, and that's been quite some months, as already said, so we've already got that money in reserve that we can use for a temporary appointment. And I don't want to leave here tonight not saying that we're going to agree for a temporary appointment, because I know how much stress and extra work the town clerk has had over these periods of time. And what with the Open and Bloom evening coming up and all of those things, with War Memorial and everything else that's going on, I do not want to leave this room saying again we can't afford to do that. We can afford to do that, and we should do it.
Thank you. Sure.
Could I have David's views, please, on what he thinks would be best for him and the job?
Thinking a long run, we need to make, sort it out, and I'd be quite happy with a 20-hour a week, where the assistant clerk on the current sort of job description stands. I'd also be happy with an apprentice, either of those. So that's the long run. I'm happy with either of those. In the short term, both of those will take a lot of my time to train, probably a bit longer for the apprentice. My only concern about an apprentice, it will depend who it was, is more likely to happen than if it was, going down the other road, is that we have a lot of evening meetings, well, that's whether we're in evening or not, but we have a lot of meetings, and you couldn't ask an apprentice, probably, for a long time, so we won't ask them to do this anyway, but you couldn't ask them to go to community meetings for quite a long time. It'd be really unfair.
Yeah.
And that does worry me, because that's one of the bottlenecks that's happened in the last few months. A lot of time being taken up in meeting after meeting after meeting, which didn't happen because there was two of us. So long run, we need somebody.
Someone
to go either way. I do think in the short term, it concerns me how we do it, but it would be really good to have somebody who could run quite quickly and knew the ropes a little bit about local government. And I'm generally not sure that going down the agency road would find you that person. So the idea that we said today might work. I'm not sure whether there is that person out there or not.
Okay. I've got you.
Thank you, Chair. Can I just jump ahead a little bit and talk about the advertising vacancy? As we all know, advertise, it's very costly. Where will you advertise?
I think if we advertise the role in our establishment now, other than the usual internet, etc., I think we would do it in the local paper. There's lots of websites out there, is it one called Indeed, where there's all sorts of jobs advertised and whether it be local government, etc. So I think you would go down one of those routes.
Can I please make a suggestion? The CBS advertises all sorts of appointments and vacancies and everything, and that you could do it through them, and I'm sure it wouldn't cost anything. And they have a big, on their website.
Thank you, Philip. It's very helpful. John?
Yeah, I agree with what I'm going to say, but why can't we want somebody local, preferably. Why can't we just advertise in the local paper, give it a week or two, and see what comes back? You might get somebody who's semi-retired. See what comes back.
It's very expensive.
Adverts in the local paper are extreme.
Is it extreme?
Yes. Beyond expensive. John?
I just want to give you some information. Some years ago we were applying for somebody when I was a member of the Winter Gardens Trust, and we got an advert in The Guardian cheaper than we could get one in the local.
Yes.
That in Guardian,
What, as in Manchester?
Actually, look into the Guardian website because they do specialist local government jobs. It's on a Tuesday.
Too far here, wants to where lives here.
You will get somebody who lives here, but if somebody's looking for local government jobs, they'll look in the Guardian on a Tuesday. They probably read it to look for jobs.
That's for the personnel committee.
Yeah, it is. I think a lot of this is operational management first hand, to be fair. So, we've got a proposition before us, which is to, and there's a whole range of solutions that people put forward for personnel to consider when it comes to the solving of the interim issue. 20 hours, and then and delegated authority. That's what's before us as it stands right now.
So, Chair, are you going to contact Lancaster City Council, as Debbie says, and try to...
That was accepted. That was accepted as a friendly amendment because it makes sense. It's a great suggestion. Yeah. Okay, so that's Jim. Before we go to about intersection.
Sorry, you were back to reading that then, is it including the interim solutions as well, this, or just the...
It's got two.
As I understand what's on the table, part of it is to, from the interim point of view, to approach Lancaster City Council to see if they've got any members of staff who've not worked full time, to see if they could temporarily come work for us. I assume on the basis of 20 hours, up to 20 hours a week on the current grade that posts on. I'm assuming that's what you're saying.
Yeah. What about other councils as well there, Blackpool or Preston, somebody within travelling distance, we could just...
And again, I think it's as Brendan's just mentioned, that the way we troll it needs to be addressed in committee so that they can get on with it and expedite the calls. Max?
I just wondered if you could advertise it on some sort of Facebook page, because on maybe the Morgan Town Council Facebook page or something, or maybe councillors could advertise it and say, if you look on the Morgan Town Council Facebook page, because I don't know if it's been up to date, that Facebook page. But young people use Facebook and it's looking for a job.
It'll certainly go onto our Facebook page. Whether councillors choose off their own bat to share that or not is down to them.
Yeah, councils cannot advertise it.
No, not themselves. Definitely not. That's beyond what our authorities are. Right, so is everybody clear on what we're voting?
Yes.
Yes? Marvellous. All those in favour then, in that case? Marvellous. Nice and easy.
We finally get to my motion.
Passed. Right, now then, we've only got two items left. And they are the notice of motion for town twinning. And I hand over to councillors Kozla and Metcalfe. We're going to move the second motion before us.
Right. It's come to my attention that a lot of other small towns are twinned with other towns in Europe or further afield. When I lived in Hebden Bridge, they had quite a successful twinning programme with a town called Saint-Paul-sur-Telnoise. This did not cost the town council anything because the townspeople ran it as a, like Morecambe's Lumen cooperative venture. Well, I was in the Mayor's Parlour the other day. I was always told Morecambe would historically have no twin town, and in the Mayor's Parlour upstairs it says on the wall that Morecambe was twinned with the 10th arrondissement of Paris.
It was.
So, the 10th arrondissement, it's like the borough, it's the 10th borough of Paris, which is quite a bad thing. So, I would just like the option to be able to explore options of seeing if we can find some, especially because I think the narrowing of fields for our young people because of Brexit, because some of the established links are going to be broken at the point of Brexit, and I would like our young people not to be, to have the option of having contact with schools around Europe or maybe even further afield. And I would like to investigate the practicality and feasibility of twinning with one or more European or possibly further partners, and to look at ways of achieving this.
No, there's not France.
No, thank you.
It doesn't enough damage that one.
a few people coming, but Terry's got to second his first formally before we move forward.
Well, you've all finished twittering among yourselves. I'd like to formally second this. For the simple reason, A, it won't cost anybody in the town any money, because anybody that comes from wherever we choose to us will pay their own fares, accommodation as they did with the youth game. Oh, you've got a spare bed, you can take whoever. And when whoever we go to wherever, we pay our fares, they feed us. It's an opportunity to let people know that not everybody is anti anybody past the English Channel.
Right now then, I think we had a list, so I think surely do the next issue in that order, and then do.
Well, the town council are already twinned with about 4 or 5 countries. Surely if you sort of got amalgamated with them on the towns what we're already twinning with. We're already twinning with about 4 places with Lancaster City Council.
City is, but town isn't.
No, well, wouldn't it be best to sort of be involved with
They're not interested, nothing happens, nothing's happened for years.
Twinning with Lancaster.
Farmland has its own twin town,
ladies, Claire and Terry, when you do, when Claire does her response, if she can answer these questions at the end rather than all in one go. Jim, cost. There's always a cost.
There's always a cost. You can't say it won't cost them money, because it will.
And I think the fact that they're investigating the practicality and feasibility of twinning with one or more European partners means that you have to come back with how practical and how feasible it is and what the costs are. Is that how feasibility would it not?
I know when they did it at Hegden Bridge, it didn't cost anything because, as Terry said, people were hosted by families in the town. The organisation didn't cost anything, you know, the odd phone call here and there, people went, oh, do that on my phone, do that on your phone.
But you'd have to come back,
I'd have to come back anyway, yeah.
You'd have to come back with the practical
Just to make a few phone calls, send a few emails to find out, really.
There is, of course, in these modern digital times, there is a way of digitally twinning with people. You don't have to actually physically do it.
Yes.
So on Snapchat. Tricia, and then I've got Jim, and then I've got David.
Right. No problems with this whatsoever, but bearing in mind the last debate we just had, could we please leave it until we have somebody else in post so it doesn't all fall on David's shoulders?
Oh, absolutely.
I wasn't asking you to do anything.
We wouldn't do it. All we're asking for is the say-so to say, yes, you can look into it. And then we'll let you know what we found out.
Sorry, Chair. Sorry, Chair, but councillors, you can't do it on behalf of the town council. You can do some spade work on it, but no, as councillors, you can't officially go into...
It's not within the constitution.
No, I wasn't going to go and promise them anything. I was just going to
Make inquiries.
make inquiries, basically.
Well, we need to look at feasibility on it.
Yeah.
That's what it's asking for. Feasibility and practicality, which will include cost.
And sorry, but I still think that obviously whoever at that end is going to look at it is going to want some kind of official letter or something, which then comes back to David. And I think we need, before anything's proceeded, we need to have somebody else in place so it doesn't fall on David's shoulders.
Right, Jim?
Yeah, very similar sentiments to that. You know, it's a fantastic idea, and we can pull it off. When I used to be a councillor on Gosnell Borough Council, we were twinned with Bottles, and there was quite a lot of council involvement in it. You know, so you can't just let anybody set this sort of thing up. There has to be sort of some official input into it, and that's got to come from the council. You know, and it's very. You know, we've got one employee at the bottom. You know, there's a lot of work on the shoulders. If we make it work. Passing it over to councillors. Councillors are transient, you know, might be voted out next May, for instance, you know, so some of the things then, you know. There's got to be some kind of connection with the council, but we haven't got the wherewithal to run with that.
From a practical point of view, I assume, from a practical point of view, I assume that neither Claire nor Terry expect this to happen next week.
No. And I did used to be heavily involved in
So,
running of the twinning of
It's
heavy
been put in the list of things to do, but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it will be on a list of things with it near the top. Alright, we've got David and John, and then I think we'll knock that one on.
Absolutely. I mean, this would be a positive move and a good way forward for the people of Morecambe and for Morecambe as a town. And I know that other villages in this district do have twinning associations. Neverkeller, Overkeller have a very vibrant one and been going since 2000. So I think it's worthwhile looking at. Early days yet, but we'll need a good collection, dedicated people involved, and maybe have a more twinning association, just like they have in the Kellett. So yeah, it's a good move. Fully support.
Thank you very much. That's my information there. John.
I just want a bit of clarification before we vote. I just want to be absolutely certain, as I think I am in my own mind, that all that we will do if we vote for this is say to our good friends here, you're going to go away, you're going to look at it, you're not going to cost us anything, you're not going to lumber us with any work, you're going to come back and tell us what you find out.
Yeah.
That I think is perfectly reasonable.
Right, good enough. And then you'll come back and tell us all about it. Good enough. Can we therefore move to a vote, please, ladies and gentlemen? Right. Oh dear Lord. Yeah, that's clearly carried. Thank you very, 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 very much. Très bien. Merci beaucoup. Oh dear. Right, now then, this is the last item, and we're going to hand over to the clerk because we've kind of touched on this a little bit already. So this is the charge of elections bit. You've got some background knowledge already now, so David.
So this has already been said. This letter came in the day before this agenda went out. But it wasn't hard about putting the agenda, but I thought I'd bring it to your attention as soon as I could, even though I don't know the financial implication of it. As I said earlier, I think we're looking at least 5k, probably maybe 10k. Councillor Hughes' question earlier, I don't know the cost from last time because the city always run our elections every 4 years and pay for them. So last Thursday, Friday, in writing, I asked them for their best estimate of what it would cost us if all the wards were contested. And I haven't had that yet. So I think the only option we can do, we know about it, is Councillor Bates said earlier, I'm sure within a month they'll be written back to me with whatever. We take it to Finance Committee in November, which that committee will have to start looking at next year's budget then anyway. That 2 month cycle we go through preparing the budget. That's all I think you can do with it tonight. Is my view.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's perfectly fair, don't you? So we'll come back and report to us with the figures and then we can start planning through finance.
Can I just make one observation?
Yeah. Yes, please do.
Really, when I read this letter, I was really annoyed because had this happened 10 years ago, at £120 for 6 wards, we'd have paid, what, £720, something like that. But we've now got how many wards we've got? 10 or 13 or something? It's now going to cost £220 for each one of them. For a reward, we didn't ask for it, didn't want. That's really gets on my...
Yes.
Wait.
I have to agree with you wholeheartedly. And a perfectly reasonable solution to that issue was put forward by this council and hasn't been acted on as far as I'm concerned. Right, well we'll come back with that and we'll come with a solution. The date and time of the next meeting is Thursday the 15th of November, here of course.